Welcome back to the Adventures of the Monad, which will look at life, the universe, and everything. My name is Kazim Kemal-ur-Rahim. In this series, I ask the question, where do we come from, who we are, and where are we going? I post one presentation a week. Please subscribe to my site and hit the bell icon for notifications of future videos. You can also leave comments and join in forum discussions on my website. In the fourth presentation, I outlined a model of creation of the universe that answered the question, where do we come from? The standard answer you are likely to receive as a child is that we come from God. This is not expanded to any great extent or appears not to be in many religions. However, on closer examination, all religions have an explanation for how the universe was created. It is usually wrapped in poetic language, but if you can decode this, you find that there are many similarities to the model I represented. This model is found in esoteric literature and most clearly outlined in the writings of Henry T. Lawrence. The model itself has its origins in Pythagorean Hylozoics, a system of thought dating back 2,700 years. What I have described to you in my previous presentations on the basics of creation may well sound very alien. Let us compare it to what is said in the Bible and how this document talks about creation. The story starts before creation itself. We are told in Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 that there was a state of formlessness and emptiness that existed before the universe was created. There was darkness over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. The deep and the waters mean the same thing, as do God and the darkness. The Absolute has not manifested anything yet. The deep and the waters both refer to primordial matter. Day 1 of creation. On the first day of creation, a proclamation goes out, "Let there be light." This is positive creation, manifesting out of negative existence. A vast number of one atoms, which we call monads, come into positive existence. They begin the foundations of our universe. There is then a separation of the light from the darkness. Here again, we are talking about positive and negative existence. The term day refers to the active period of the universe and night refers to the inactive period. We have also called this state pralaya. Think of this unit of time as a cosmic day, and it represents eons and eons of time. When I mean eons, I mean trillions of years. From an esoteric viewpoint, the current estimates of the age of the universe are laughably off the mark. Day 2 of creation. On the second day of creation, we are told, "Let there be an expanse between the waters to separate the waters from the waters." This is telling us that the original one atoms that have entered into positive existence are now being differentiated into different planes. These are the planes of existence I spoke of in my previous presentation, comprising 2 atoms, 3 atoms, etc. The one sea has become numerous seas. The structure of these various planes is dealt with in greater detail at a later date. I want to go on and complete the narrative. This will help us link the biblical story to the one presented by esoterics. The comparison aims to help us understand the universe we live in. For the time being, I wish to draw your attention to the statement that the waters are separated from the waters. Clearly, this is an allegorical statement. However, when viewed from a Hylozoic perspective, what is being said makes sense. Day 3 of creation. In the Bible, from day 3 onwards, the processes of creation deal with the earth itself. This whole process is dealt with by the lesser gods, who are evolving themselves. What evidence is there to link the lesser gods to the processes of creation? This is a relevant question, as monotheists attribute creation only to the one God. I'll discuss this shortly. The number of seas in this universe number 49. They are divided into 7 groups known as cosmic planes. These are presented here. All the processes relating to the creation of our solar system start from the cosmic mental plane and work downwards. That is a total of 4 cosmic planes. This is important to us, as it is our world, our universe, you could say. It is, however, humbling when you realize that there are 3 whole cosmic planes above that. Most of the discussions, if not practically all of them that we will be having during this series of presentations, do not focus outside the lowest, the cosmic physical plane. The story continues with, "Let dry ground appear," which means that the physical earth has come into existence. We are now in the realms of the cosmic physical plane. The phrase, "let the land produce vegetation," is out of place. This is because there is only one kingdom of nature that is produced per day. In this instance, a day means an eon of time. How long is an eon? Well, that can depend, but let's just say it's a very long interval. Later, more precise scales will be given. Day 4 of creation. On the 4th day, God created 2 lights, the greater to govern the day and the lesser to govern the night. This statement, alas, also seems to be out of place. The greater is the sun, and the lesser are the stars. This creative process would have happened on day 3, along with the formation of the planets, which at the time were regarded as stars. The 4th day is the day that the vegetable kingdom would have been created. Day 5 of creation. On the 5th day, the instruction was given, "Let the waters teem with living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth." This statement could be taken to mean that the general order of creatures of the earth came into being, including fish, reptiles, and insects. Day 6 of creation. On the 6th day, God made wild animals. Let us assume this means the mammals, and then God finally created man in his own image. This is the human kingdom into which our one atom, our own monad, will eventually incarnate. Our true selves are individual one atoms that were created eons ago when the universe first came into existence. What is animating the physical organism you think you actually happen to be? At the heart of this organism is an absolutely tiny one atom. We know this one atom to be a monad, and that monad is you. This is why I subtitled the series of presentations, "The Adventures of the Monad." If you look at the ladder of creation, the human kingdom is considered the 4th kingdom of nature. There are 2 more kingdoms associated with our solar system. They are the unity kingdom and the spiritual kingdom. These are the 5th and 6th kingdoms that complete the set of kingdoms that evolve within the safety of our solar system. Numbering from the first plane, where the monad enters the universe, humanity occupies the 47th to the 49th planes of existence. This puts us, humans, into perspective. Religions in general place our planet and nature beneath us, and God above us. There is nothing in between except a few angels. Well, if we are only occupying 3 out of 49 planes, that is an awful lot of planes for nothing to be happening in. This is the case if you assume our God is at the top of this ladder of 49 planes. Clearly, the cosmology of the Bible is much more compressed. In the same way, you have the 7 days of creation. You could postulate 7 planes of existence. Indeed, 7 planes are what does go to make up our solar system. So most of our mythologies do not focus beyond the nursery ground of this existence. Day 7 of creation. On the 7th day, God finished the work he had been doing. On the 7th day, he rested from all his work. Let us recap what has just been outlined here. On day 1 and 2, we had the Absolute creating the multidimensional universe. Day 3, 4 and 5 was when the lesser gods kicked in with creating the minerals, plants, animals, and the human kingdoms. We are still actually in day 6. Day 7 refers to humanity evolving into the 5th kingdom. What is the 5th kingdom? Will be elucidated later, but it is referred to in the Bible as the New Jerusalem. To conclude this section, I want to repeat an adage. The breath becomes a stone. The stone becomes a plant. The plant becomes an animal. The animal becomes a man. The man becomes a spirit. And finally, the spirit becomes a god. This is a very profound series of propositions. I hope to indicate to you how they underpin the whole pathway of development within our universe. We are all climbing Jacob's ladder. We become increasingly conscious until we eventually achieve the realization that we are gods, the spark of the one God. So, who are our gods? To answer this question, I want to start by pointing out that one of the names of God given in the Bible is Elohim. This term for God is plural. When God said, "Let us make man out of our own image," in Genesis 1:26, who was the us? Esoteric states that there are 3 main groups of collective gods who have shared but also individual consciousness. These gods relate back to the fundamental building blocks of all creation, those being energy, motion, consciousness, and matter. The first aspect of the deity is energy. This force can also be referred to as will. It is referred collectively to as Shiva, or in Gnostic parlance, the Father. This aspect of the lesser gods is responsible for maintaining balance and harmony. They ensure that material forces do not get out of hand and cause chaos. It is also this first aspect of the deity that is responsible for overseeing karma and destiny. I do not mean this solely from a human perspective, but also from a cosmic perspective. The second aspect of the deity is consciousness. This is known in Hinduism as Vishnu and in Gnosticism as the Sun. The second aspect supervises the evolution of monads, inspiring them to proceed along their own paths of evolution. The third aspect of deity is matter. This goes by the name of Brahma. The Gnostic term for this aspect is the Holy Spirit, but it is also known as the mother aspect. This aspect of deity fashions matter into galaxies, solar systems and planets, etc. On a smaller scale, the third aspect develops the kingdoms of nature that allow monads to develop their consciousness and therefore evolve. These three aspects of deity work as a collective at a galactic, solar systemic and planetary level. To give you a basic idea, the origins of minerals, plants, animals and humans begin to take shape in the cosmic mental plane, 26 to 35, as you can see in the diagram. Note the use of the numbering system to also describe the cosmic mental plane. These numbers refer to the scales of 1 to 49. All forms of life in the solar system are originally conceived here. They start as a mental construct and gradually condense down onto plane 49. Each step down in consciousness sees minor alterations to the matter aspect as well. What finally manifests that we can physically see is on a subplane of a subplane. The seventh subplane of the 49th cosmic physical plane itself can be divided into 7 further subplanes, as you can see from the diagram. The lowest 3 subplanes are minerals, liquids and gases. If anyone was interested in how this all happened, I could go into this in the 3rd series of presentations, presuming anyone is interested in a 2nd series before that. What I hope you take away from this particular presentation is that there are endless cycles of creation that gradually refine and improve life forms. This leads to monads graduating from one kingdom of nature to the next. In the process, they leave behind a blueprint for the next wave of monads to build upon. Evolution is not a blind force, but the result of eons of work by intelligent beings far above our comprehension. To end this presentation, I wish to say that Adam and Eve were not created by magic. They were not the first 2 human beings, as their sons married girls from the local village. There was no original sin or fall from paradise. There was, however, an ordered descent into matter to expand our consciousness. Eden was a subtler world. This meant descending for us had unpleasant consequences, such as birth and death. Eve did not originate from Adam's rib. It was a mistranslation. The word should have been translated as rift, the splitting between the sexes into male and female. The Bible has presented us with a poetic outline of how creation happens. In the 6th presentation, I wish to dive into the mechanics of the creation process as outlined by Hylozoics. If you wish to read a translation of the presentation or leave comments, links to my website are in the description box below. Thank you.